Hello again. Welcome back. It is the Blacksmith and the Tech Guy podcast. We're here for episode 3. We've got a lot to get to today. If you don't know us, my name is Will Branson. I'm a full-time blacksmith. This is Tab the Tech Guy. He works in tech, obviously. We've got a lot of stuff. We go through general interests. We go from tech to trades to general interest to current events and politics. So if you have anything you'd like us to go through and research and talk about, feel free to put it down in the comments. If you feel we earned it, give us a like and a subscribe. With that, I think, Matt, you have anything to say? If not, go into our first.
No, I think we're pretty good to go. We can jump right into, let's see, what are we going to jump into today? We're going to jump into gaming first, huh?
Gaming, yeah.
So, all right, so we'll go ahead and
the news of today,
that.
is this week. It's kind of the story is kind of like the flaming dumpster fire that Ubisoft has become. They've had a stream of releasing really not suboptimal games, and they've lost, hundreds of millions of dollars, if not getting close to $1 billion. And oh boy, look at that stock price. Yeah.
Hey, well,
yeah, it's
let's see year to date. Oh, we see a jump, but we see a drastic move back down here.
Yeah.
So, watching it fall. Well, this is let's see.
Yeah. Basically, they needed. They had.
Take a look at markets.
They had a video game, the pirate video game. What was it called?
The pirate video game.
Ship.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. So they had
good.
Skull and
Just
Bones
kidding.
that was in development for almost 10 years, and it was a bomb, and it wasn't good. They had Star Wars Outlaws, which had a host of issues when they first came out, and it wasn't popular. Didn't make any money for them. Was a loser. And then they really needed this to be a win, and it doesn't look like preliminary kind of reviews and folks that are coming out, and there's a lot of clips. We're going to go over some of them. Tab hasn't seen them, and I collected a couple of them here, and we're going to kind of go through them to kind of see the stuff that
look at
folks,
that.
Whoa, Outlaws, that's screaming. Yeah, look at that. That's popular.
I can't believe that somebody took a Star Wars IP and did this to it.
Well,
it's devastating.
Well, you think Disney and Ubisoft get together?
Oh, you know what? Actually, they probably have coffee together and talk about
how
the
bad we
loser.
can tear
They're
stuff
golfing.
up.
They're golfing. Good job, guys.
Well, you're here. Let's just pull up. It's a brand new game, been out for a day and a half now. So let's see what their peak stream numbers are. See what.
If we can tie it, that'd be cool, right? There it is.
And it's at the bottom.
Shadows.
That's good.
Okay. So
47 peak players there.
And
that's not so good.
Let's if we were to
let's pull up Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's been out for almost a month, right?
Yeah, it's been out for a bit now. So
1.3 million peak.
So just for if nobody knows Monster Hunter, this is a niche game. Right. Monster Hunter is a niche game, and this is pretty much the first time it's gone mainstream.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
And these numbers right here, they're insane.
It's 1.3
These are fantastic.
million peak players right now.
But this is what every AAA game used to look like, right?
Absolutely.
When it would come out back in the day.
Right.
Everybody be playing it, right?
So currently 7 p.m. On a Friday evening, it's got almost 400,000 peak players on a game that's been out a month.
This is our 24-hour peak. So,
24-hour peak,
and then right now we have 210,000.
210, gotcha. Okay.
And of course, this is just on Steam. So
right.
if you're playing on PlayStation, which the primary player is on PlayStation, so
right.
this has a lot more than what you're seeing on here.
For sure.
Same with Assassin's Creed, Shadows, right? It's the same thing, right? Like consoles are going to have a good base there.
And there's enough players, there's enough base on Steam that it's kind of a good indicator of what the general health of a game is, even though we don't get all of the numbers.
But if we look at other popular releases, well, it's doing fine, but none of these games has anybody on the planet ever heard of.
Right.
So there's that.
Well, let's take a look at some of these video clips that we've got coming out. So first one we've got here is it's an example. There was some folks that were talking about some poor voice acting. So we're going to bring that up on the screen and we can kind of go through. This is one of the playable characters approaching a vendor, a mushroom vendor. And we're going to kind of get Tab's reaction onto how good he personally thinks the voice acting is. So
I'm going to pull my bookmarks up real quick.
Yep.
Did I pull that voice actor in here too?
Should be.
I
Nope, we didn't.
Okay, we'll just pull this one over.
Pull that one over, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at this.
There we go. Let's blow it up and take a look. Make it.
Okay.
Here it is.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too.
Shit cake is what that should have said.
Mushrooms.
Wait,
Smell
gotta do it
of
again.
dirt,
Okay, so this is a.
grass, and rain.
They called this a quadruple A game, not a triple A game. This is what they were coming with. Here it is.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too.
She ate the mushrooms. That's what happened.
Must be
That's what happened. Okay, that's what we're not showing. We're missing context.
Yeah, she's high.
She ate the
That's it.
mushrooms.
That's we
Okay.
don't condone any
That's
form of
Freaking horrible.
drug use. Drugs are
Which
bad.
they obviously did when they made this game.
Yeah,
Because that was freaking terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Let's take a.
Take
We
a look at that
bookmarked
one.
a couple that I haven't seen any of these. I just bookmarked them
Yeah.
real quick. So
We'll kind of take a look.
we'll
Here's
take a quick look.
here's my favorite one that I wanted to show Tab here. This is a streamer who got early access and he was streaming it before the game was actually released. And there's finishing moves that Yasuke is the male samurai that's in the saying quotations that's in the game. You can do like special finishing moves and stuff. So I wanted to show him the amazing feat and the amazing finishing moves. He got this guy so good that he brought him back to life.
Oh,
So let's see.
let's take a look. Oh, cut his head right off. Oh my God, that's a different game.
He stood right up and walked back to his card.
What the hell?
He goes right back
Goes
to his
back to his
pattern.
card post.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's a first.
great.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy don't
Oh,
give
what's he
a
doing?
fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Nope,
boy,
he just walked
What
up.
is
Nope,
going
picked his
on?
weapon up. He's got no head walking around.
dude, you're missing something.
It
Oh,
can't-
is that Christopher Walken?
It must be.
Sleepy Hollow here? That's amazing.
That's
I mean, that's pretty cool, right? That's cooler.
Dude, just
So now it's a zombie
Wow.
samurai game.
Yeah.
that
Hey,
ahead.
That might be a next winner
Zombie
right there.
samurai.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's freaking terrible, guys. Come on. Didn't they delay this game 46 times?
No, they delayed it specifically for a month
fix
and a
bugs.
half to fix bugs.
Right.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
it was so they could avoid the woke
be fair,
backlash. But
the last time they had to pull it was because they had this really big release of video until they noticed it was like a, hey guys, look at, it's a promo trailer. And then people noticed they were using projectiles and they were shooting somebody with a projectile and they noticed the character fell over and died, but the projectile was still floating in space.
oh, in the air.
Disconnected from the NPC.
I
which
figured
thought
it was
quite funny.
probably because the world's biggest streamer has been crapping on it constantly,
Yeah.
and they were hoping that pushback from his followers would stop.
Maybe. I don't know. Ubisoft,
It
they
hasn't
came
stopped.
out and said they've got lawyers ready to sue people. So
No, it's scary.
They review the game bad. So guess what,
That is true.
Ubisoft? I don't care. Bring it. Bring it.
Yeah.
Sue me. Your game sucks. Okay.
It's
Next.
gotta suck.
Okay, here we go. Let's see this one. Next clip.
I mean,
Oh, we got a boat
Oh,
breakdancing.
yeah, that's awesome. Where's the music? Dude, wow.
Look at that thing. Oh, that's great. Man, this is the state of Western gaming studios.
I mean, I
today.
have to say, what is the boat inside the? Oh, that's okay.
It's a boat in a boat.
That's very interesting.
Wow.
I mean, if anybody's played Red Dead Redemption, there's tons of things like this.
But
right?
the game's fun.
But the game's good.
Right.
So
Yeah.
nobody, we all make fun of it and laugh, but we don't really
so
care. Oh boy.
What is this one?
But
I don't know. Oh,
but
boy.
I
Oh,
know.
boy.
Who is that?
I think
Oh,
this
okay.
is
So this is the female sumo wrestler,
Okay.
but they didn't exist.
I was going to say, I
And
don't
that-
think they
no.
exist today.
Well, that's the thing is that, I did a little bit of reading about it, but I guess, they're not allowed anywhere on the ring at all.
No.
It's like a sacred thing you're
Yeah.
not supposed to do, which they decided to throw that away,
Yeah,
and they actually
because-
hired somebody to, to make sure this game wasn't offensive to Japanese people. It's amazing.
That person ripped them off bad.
I did tell you about the special edition they mailed to streamers, Japanese streamers, to try to mull things over with them because there was getting bad reviews all over the place. So
Right.
they picked a bunch of popular Japanese streamers, sent them this big gift bag with all this stuff in it. And the box that the gift box came in, the box was
Wasn't it
covered.
Chinese?
It wasn't Chinese,
Oh.
but it was fake Japanese runes. It was just
Oh,
scribbled
that's right.
lines
They
that
weren't
just
real.
didn't actually say anything. It was
That's
just scribbles.
Yes.
Oh man.
What I
that's
was
horrible.
thinking about was the Chinese temples that are in the game.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
really not offensive to Japanese people because they really get along.
No,
good.
right. Well,
Back then, they really got along.
A lot of Japanese people were saying that a lot of the mustaches, the hairstyles, the dragons, and different, aesthetics that are in the game are some of them are Chinese, some of them are Mongolian. Yeah,
Not good.
Nope.
Not good with that.
Not a good day.
But I know the place. No one visits any turns the same. Especially not a lone god.
Hmm.
You didn't see her fight. She'll be fine.
Reminds me of Mortal Kombat
But I know
on Super
the
Nintendo.
place.
I don't
The
know.
facial
No one
movement.
visits any turns
Yeah.
the same.
It's the voice acting.
just bad.
It's not good.
It's like somebody trying to fake an accent.
It's like, but wait, look, you can see them sweating, so that makes up for it.
That's,
Right?
oh yeah, that's cool.
Not a
The
lone
sweating
god.
thing is cool. That fixes it.
Yeah.
Yep. He's hot and
You didn't
sweaty.
see her
Yeah.
fight.
No,
Look at that.
She'll be
yeah,
fine.
that's
I don't know, man.
But I
Yep.
know
all right.
Hey, Grumps.
This
He's
was
one of
a-
my favorite
Yeah,
guys.
Grumps is a pretty cool guy.
He's worked on the original World of Warcraft when it was,
All right, so this
Awesome.
one was this is grade A parkour, right?
Oh, okay,
Special
grade A
moves,
parkour.
right? Okay, here we go.
okay. Our
Okay,
favorite thing. in
running up the
Assassin's
roof, running down the roof, hanging off, and then
Creed. Uh-oh.
we're levitating.
Oh, what's happened?
We're levitating in
We're
space
falling.
and activate
Oh.
rocket boosters.
That's amazing. Oh, it's time travel.
We've gone across
No.
the continent and we're now over the ocean.
The physics of them falling while they're flying are cool. Wow, into the water. Like, oh no, that's what do you call it? Into the.
Now they're swimming back to shore. That's
swimming.
great, isn't it?
We
The
gotta watch
game
that
took
again.
you 5 miles offshore and dropped you in the ocean. Now you got to swim back.
But you know what's cool? Whoa, dude, that's insane.
It
He just
looks
flew
pre-
through
it looks
Osaka.
pretty cool. Like that's the kind of Superman game I want. Like you're flying,
He
over,
flew to another town. That's insane. That's
Like-
fast travel.
They have a Superman game. Like that's what they're missing. Like an open world Superman game.
Yeah, you
would be
messed up.
awesome.
This is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, I gotcha. All right, here we go. Another
Yeah, another
parkour video.
Speedrunning start.
Speed running start. Let's see here.
Okay,
Here we go.
take a look.
Up on the gate.
Okay.
Jumping over.
Even that jump animation, man.
Yeah, it looks stiff. Oof.
That's terrible right
Yeah,
there, by the way, the
right.
pathing.
Okay. Jumped on the roof.
I mean, it wouldn't be bad if, like, I made this, right?
Yeah, right? They spent
Oh. Oh, my goodness.
Well, they flew into a mountain
Dude,
and dead.
desynchronized.
Wow.
You're toasted.
Flung her across.
Oh, my gosh. I think somebody was desynchronized when they made this.
Yeah. I mean, this is a game that they spent, was it 400 million on, I think, is
I
the
don't know.
estimate?
Let's,
400 or 500 million.
Let's ask Rock.
I think they spent 250
See what
million
Greg says.
before $250 million before advertising.
The development of
Assassin's Creed
Assassin's
Shadows.
Creed Shadows. Okay, let's see. What does Grok have to say
Let's see.
if he's not being DDoS'd?
350 million.
Okay, so we have the range between 250 and 350 because they won't disclose
All right.
right now anyway. Earnings call it delays in the game. 20,
Plus another 20.
okay, so 21 to the total cost. So we're probably looking at
So
anywhere from
bo-
350 to 400 million. Oh, here we go.
400 including
Some
marketing.
speculate the total cost could approach or exceed $400 million.
Yep.
The estimates reflect the games. So let's take a look at this.
So
I don't
a-
know actually what. Did we already look this up? What is what was that? Oh, that's because I need to. You have to edit when you do that.
Oh, gotcha. Monster Hunter, yeah. What did they
Wilds.
spend?
Spent on game evaluation.
Yeah. In contrast, Kingdom Come Deliverance, right?
Yep.
They spent $50 million.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That game's insane.
They spent $50 million.
That game's amazing, by
Yeah.
the way. Oh yeah, Capcom hasn't publicly disclosed it,
Yeah.
but
They spent $20 to $30 million.
10%.
My goodness.
So speculation from gaming communities and posts on platforms like Reddit suggest a range of 50 to 100 million, so a quarter
Yep.
or less.
Yep.
So
Yep.
in that range. Okay.
With
So
10
let's
times
look at Kingdom
the player
Come, huh?
base.
The new one,
Oh, okay. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Kingdom
right.
Come Deliverance. How you spell deliver? Burr.
ANC.
It's not ANC.
Is
Is
it?
it?
No, yeah, you're right. It's
Lance.
ANC. You're right.
It is. Yeah, well, this is why we use word processors today.
Right.
No, okay, approximately 36.5 million.
Plus marketing. Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because
And they had backers, so not all that came out of their pocket.
if we looked at
It's crazy.
Kingdom Come. Why is it not there? Oh, there it is.
The original
Deliverance
one.
2.
Yeah.
So that's one we just looked at right now, right?
Right.
So let's look at charts. Boom.
Wow. They've got 256,000.
24-hour peak looks to be
Same.
it's
Same.
$2,000 higher.
Wow.
And this game's been out for what?
2 days, a day and a half.
No,
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come's been out for a month and a half.
Something like that.
Came out February 2nd or something,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
The first Kingdom Come,
Bro, I would laugh if they had more too.
I don't think so, but it's still there's all-time peak, right? Like it's $100,000.
Yeah, you're double what Assassin's Creed had. Yeah.
So these games, if you have not played Kingdom Come, I haven't played the second one yet because I just finished the first one. It's fantastic.
And let's put this
really
in
fun.
perspective.
And by the way, there's some questionable stuff in Kingdom Come 2 people have talked about.
Right.
But it's not forcing it onto you,
Right.
from what I understand. So I don't have a problem with that.
So,
Can't
in
wait.
contrast, there's a couple of things with Assassin's Creed 2 where they have a benefit, maybe, that if you sign up for Ubisoft Platinum or whatever, for their, it's like $15 a month or $25 a month or whatever it is, you get access to their whole catalog. So there is a portion of people that are playing Assassin's Creed Shadows that didn't actually have to buy it. So look, if you want to play the game, don't buy the game. Go sign up for a month for $25, download the game, play Shadows, and then cancel your subscription. That's it.
That's interesting.
Yep. So they're giving away there's reports of like
the only problem is I think you have to sell your first child to Ubisoft when you sign up for that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, they are. Now, speaking of that, Amazon.
I wonder how long until it's free on Xbox Game Pass.
Oh yeah. Well, Velgard was. They're
quick.
They're free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So speaking of the whole privacy thing, I know it's a little off topic, but I don't know if you heard about that at all. But Amazon Alexa have got everybody up in arms because originally you had a privacy mode that you could put where it wouldn't listen. And
Did they find out it was listening?
No, but they actually just came out and said, we're taking away the privacy. So if you still want to use Alexa as of whatever it is, the 20-something, you're not going to have that option anymore. And we're going to listen to it. Yep. And I have my own personal opinions as to why that is. Bezos has fallen behind Musk in a lot of different ways, and they've kind of gone heads up a lot. It's not hidden information that they compete and are not fans of each other. But yeah, right. So Bezos was going to try to beat Musk to the, space race, and then he had his giant dildo that failed. And there's lots of folks that say the whole reason, or one of the major reasons that Elon Musk purchased X was to use that as kind of a real-time data sponge for his AI system, for Grok. And that's why his is one of the
Makes sense.
better AIs that's out there. My personal opinion, I think it's the best.
I think it depends on what you do.
Yeah,
it's
for
up
general
there.
for general AI, right?
I think the only real competitor is ChatGPT.
And I've had ChatGPT. I've tried GPT, and there's a lot of times where it doesn't differentiate fact from speculation, or it states speculation as fact, and it doesn't say it's speculation. It says this is the truth, and it's not.
Right, but it does that, but it really leans a certain direction when it does that.
Right, that's true.
You have noticed with ChatGPT.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're using it for something like coding,
okay,
and you say plug in a program, I've had quicker responses with Grok and more accurate responses with Grok. Just dropping in a program, say some Python code, and you want it cleaned up, or you've got something that's broken in your code and you don't feel like searching, and you dump it in,
plug it in, say fix it.
It's so quick.
Wow.
It goes, hey, here's your problem, and you're like, oh, thanks.
That's awesome.
ChatGPT is also very good at it.
Okay.
But I would say Grok right now is better.
Elon Musk said,
I'd say it's the best out as well.
Right. Elon Musk said I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast, he said we're 2 years away from people being able to create AAA games from Grok.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's scary.
It is scary.
It's cool though.
But we got off subject, but I think, get back to just to sum up that thought is, I think that's why Bezos is taking away the privacy, because he's going to be using his Alexa as a sponge to try to get his AI program back up, because he's falling behind.
I mean, that's what Google has, secretly been
That's
doing.
That's what Google is for years, right?
Housing all of your feelings in a database.
Funny, the CAPTCHA, that was the whole reason behind the CAPTCHA. It's not really it is secondarily, but they use the CAPTCHA to train the AI.
Right.
Because, it's crazy, huh?
It is. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Or scary.
Right. So,
I think for gaming, I think that's probably about it. There's some more news a little bit here and there, but
it kind of sums it up.
The main stuff right now with Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's the most controversial thing going on right now, and funny to watch. Right?
Disagree with us? Let us know.
I haven't played it.
You want a game you want us to review? Let us know. Check it out, and we'll talk about it here on the stream.
Yeah, for sure.
Excuse me.
So I think we can jump into maybe politics after that, huh?
Okay.
And
we can do that. We'll switch subjects a little bit.
Talk about there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of kind of stuff that's gone on this week. The Department of Education was shut down. JFK files were released. Let's see. Do you have a specific place you want to start?
We can jump on the Department of Education.
Department of Education. Yeah.
I just was gonna pull this up real quick here. Let's see if we can't grab it here and take a look at this. This blew my mind. So, not a single student can read at grade level in 30 Illinois schools. Now, this has nothing to do with. It doesn't not have nothing to do with, but it has more to do with the state system than it does the federal government, obviously. But if we're paying for this, this isn't what anybody wants,
right?
In a school system, we want these kids to be able to read, and a lot of this comes down to having to move so fast in classrooms and kids falling behind and not enough. They're going to say money for enrichment programs and things like that, because kids, if they miss a little spot here or there, they don't ever catch it, right? And that's with a lot of times with English and with mathematics. It's kind of the same way. And teachers, kind of like your doctor, they have a certain amount of time that they're allowed to spend on each subject, and it doesn't matter who gets it and who doesn't.
Right, they got to move on.
They have to move on. Yeah. And they really don't have a choice in that matter, the way things are set up.
Right.
So with the Department of Education being dissolved or shut down right now and audited, to me, the only thing that can come from that is good if we can audit it and they can funnel the money to where it would need to go or actually do some good, or, because it's obviously not working. So things need to be rehauled or overhauled, I should say, for sure. And this is just a little statement of that. And I'd imagine if we looked at every state in the nation, there would be tons of schools like this. Isn't there a statistic that 30% of primary aged kids can't read? Right. Period.
Yeah.
Or 30% of high school kids is what it was in the United States, wasn't it?
It was, I think it was Atlanta. If you look it up, I think it was Atlanta. I think it said two were at reading level. You have to look at it. I'll just, while you're looking for that, I'll kind of generally summarize what I think about the Department of Education, because a lot of people are tied to it. They hear education, oh yeah, I'm for kids, right? That's sounds good.
And pull at your heartstrings, right?
Pull at your heartstrings, right? And, I understand that we all want to do what's best for our kids. However, centralizing that in DC away from everyone, every kid in different areas of the country has different needs. They have different things they need to learn outside of basics. There's different things that children should be learning about in their areas. And if you can segment that into a state's issue, you let states... You don't need a Department of Education. You say kids need to be able to do X, Y, Z at this age. Other than that, teach them, right? Now, when you have 50 states, you have 50 states doing everything different, and they're not constrained by a overseeing body that tells everybody how to do something. You're going to have winners and losers, right? Because right now we have all losers.
Which is kind of how it is anyway. Right now, states do their own thing, right? But they're getting funding from the federal government that's telling them you don't get this if you don't do what we say too on top of it, right? And that's kind of a bad thing.
They should be if California wants to go to a 3-day school week, if Arizona wants to go to completely homeschooled, if Oklahoma wants to go, wants to offer an alternative agriculture program. So be it. Let's have winners and losers, right? Because those states that are failing can learn from the winners, or the people can move, right?
Or maybe failure rate isn't as real as what we say right now, because don't they judge education level by the amount of higher education graduates in a specified area? That doesn't necessarily mean successful people.
Right.
Tons of people are very successful with nothing but a high school education, and even less. I mean, it's
about passion. It's about learning to do something 100%. And doing it.
And that takes away trade school workers, right? Like trade workers who they're not.
Oh yeah.
They don't have a master's degree, right? So of course, or they might, but let's say they don't, and they own 2 or 3 different companies, and they're very well off.
Well, that kind of stuff started.
They're stupid because they didn't get a degree. I mean, I don't understand how they measure that.
No, I get it, and they don't, because and I say this all the time. Not everybody is made for college. Period.
100%.
And that's not an offensive statement. There are some people who will make $1 million being a plumber. There's some people who will make millions of dollars being a welder and good at it, right? They're out there, right? You want to specialize and you want to go balls to the wall and specialize in what you're doing and make money at it and be good, right? Doesn't mean you have to, be a history buff, right? That just gets in the way, right?
Although it's good to be.
No, it is, absolutely. And there should be some, but
at least in some types of history.
There's the saying, jack of all trades, right?
Master of none.
Master of none, but is often better than a master of one. That's the full statement, right?
Yeah, that part gets left out.
That part gets left out. You let people explore what they want to do, and you don't push them into boxes. That's one of the biggest things that my generation didn't get a hold of, and that's it's a travesty that they didn't get access to the trades or just a basic education on trades.
Yeah, I mean, where we grew up, that wasn't really like a thing, right? Like our schools, we didn't have we had shop in junior high. I had shop class, wood shop, but we didn't have metalworking. We didn't have in high school there was no automotive or anything like that. I would have jumped right in there. I loved cars. I mean, growing up, my dad loved cars. I absolutely loved cars. I would have jumped right onto that, and it would have given me something to probably look forward to instead of dropping out in 60 days of high school, right?
You don't expose kids to these things, and they don't have the knowledge to be able to be innovators, to be inventors, to make new things, right? That's a horrible thing that we're robbing from people.
We didn't have technology courses either.
Right, technology. We had a typing course, but that's it. That's not technology. Like teaching you how to use a keyboard.
I didn't even have that.
We had like keyboard class, but that doesn't teach you how to use a computer. What does it do? What are the things you can do to make your life better with it? Or budgeting, for goodness sake. Like, how many people never use Algebra 2 when they leave, and they never learned how to balance a checkbook?
Yep.
Let's get practical with it, right? I mean, let's get practical with education.
I'd be all for it if we taught fiscal responsibility. I would be like, yeah, fund it. Let's teach that.
It should be. Right?
And, I homeschool, and I think that I don't get anything for doing that. Although in the state of Idaho, I'm going to be able to apply to do that now.
Right.
So, which is nice because we have like parent choice with that, and I'll be able to get money now. I can get up to like $5,000. However, the state gives $15,000 per child. So somebody's still eating up my the other 10, right? But I'm okay with it because it doesn't cost me 15. But 5 would do it. 5 would pay for the jiu-jitsu classes for her that I pay for out of my pocket, and 5 would pay for a new laptop here and there, and then books and field trips,
curriculum stuff,
right? Yeah. And then like if you want to do extra math courses or stuff like that with a tutor or something,
right?
I'm all for, if you want to go to public school, send your kids, but that's great, and your schools should be funded, and they should be accountable for those funds, and I think where we live, the schools do a pretty good job of that compared to the rest of the country, I would say. But there's still, like, the federal government on the federal level, it's so far away.
Right.
We don't have an ability
even the state's
far away.
The state's far
away, right? The state's super far away. So the federal government is like so far away, we can't affect that at all.
No, yeah, right.
So it's like,
It's like it's a general rule in government. The further away the governing body gets away from the people, the more corruption and the less benefit you're going to get from that governing body. That's That's it. I think it was the total budget of the Department of Education was 40 billion. You're gonna have to fact check me on that one. I think it was 40 billion.
I was hoping that it would give me a breakdown.
39 billion, right? 2004 was 80 billion. I was half of what it was. 80 billion was the budget of the Department of Education. Now let's take that.
Top performers.
Yep.
3.5 billion. California. Okay. It's a big state. Texas, big state. Florida's a big state. Where's that?
Take that 80 billion and divide it by 50, right? That's a huge check for every state that you can just. That's it. You close the Department of Education and just transfer that money to the states equally, right? That's it.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do. You let them handle it.
But that isn't what happens. Yeah.
No, that isn't what happens.
Like for our state,
they probably divvied up per.
I think it's 1 to 5 million.
Yeah,
is what the state of Idaho gets.
Yeah, it's possible, and it makes more sense to give it up per student instead of per state. I was just using that as an example.
For sure.
But break it out. How many students? Write that. Let's find that out. How many students are in the public school system today?
Let's see. Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Typing again. The most annoying keyboard in the world.
Are in the public school system?
Yep. Public school system today.
Let's see. That's a lot.
I bet. Okay, million. 49.6 million.
50 million.
50 million. So 50 million divided by 80 billion. What do we get?
Well, that's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a big.
50. Well, we need.
It'd be 50 million divided by.
I don't know if Grok does math like that.
Try it.
Never tried it.
Let's 80 billion.
3.
9.
Oh, it's 8.
Yeah, one more.
Officer.
Okay. It did it.
So
not a percentage. Scientific notation. It would be. No, it'd be bit backwards. You did it.
I sure did.
You did it backwards.
Yeah. Well, I've been working all day.
Right. It's taking way too long. I'm goofed up. Sorry, guys. You don't have to put your fingers through the desk.
Okay. There we are.
All right.
It's a big number.
1,600. That's it. That's an additional 1,600 per student.
Okay.
Right? That's, that's
well,
it.
if we fund it 8,000 to 9,000, then it's 10,000 a year. Here.
Right.
I mean, state of Idaho.
Yeah.
But it's like 10,500. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it would be nice. Either give us the money back or, give it directly to the states. And, you could even do it by, per whatever state pays, I guess. But
right.
Either way, what's the point of it, honestly?
Just get rid of it.
So we can have a federal program for what? What's it doing? That's what I'd like to know.
They got so far away from education. That's the problem. That's why everybody's mad. That's why nobody wants it. If they were doing their job right and educating kids, they wouldn't. Nobody would be asking for this. But whatever they're doing and what they've been, and that's the thing. It's not just that it's a current failure. It's been a failure, right? It's been a long time of failure. That's why people are finally fed up and they say, get rid of it. Get rid of it. We'll go back.
Yeah, if it's not working, I'm not opposed to having a program.
Right.
I'm opposed to one that doesn't work.
Right.
That's it.
To the tune of $80 billion a year.
That's insane. It's too much money.
Yeah.
Too much
failure.
Money.
Right.
Okay, so that was Department of Education. Kids can't read.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I pulled up right there, right?
Yeah, let's pull up this the story here /fund that I had a note on. This was an interesting. I read this article, and I felt my head wanting to explode. Right. So we'll do a quick run through of it. It's a Daily Wire. Article about a shuttered agency that Doge found, and it's this this federal agency that nobody ever heard of, and it was small enough to just fly under the radar, and they were just writing checks from the federal government, and nobody knows why. Originally, this
I think I know why.
They were called the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service. That's why they were originally minted, and they were meant to be a government service offered for that would go in between unions and businesses, and be a mediator between the two.
It's Robert Duvall and Godfather.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, right. But for the
Conciliary.
government, right? Yeah. So that was their whole job. However, they didn't actually do anything, and there were 60 employees that worked in this place, right? And he said even before the pandemic, most of them worked from home.
Nice,
right? The managers had offices with full bathrooms, right? One manager was often in the shower when she was found to be needed, right? She had a full shower. One of the other managers used her bathroom as a cigarette lounge, right? So that was kind of cool.
I mean, it is.
It says the 60 K Street for 60 employees. So it was an independent agency. The total employees was 230.
Okay. That's pretty large.
That's pretty large, right? We'll wait till we get into some of the juicier stuff. So it was used originally. They were originally being investigated by one of the Government Accountability Office, and one of the heads up from this company wrote a letter in the lady, pretending to be the lady who investigated him, saying that she didn't know what she was talking about and she was sorry.
Oh, that's nice. I see right there that one thing I could not discover is why the agency actually existed, other than to provide luxurious lifestyles for its employees, endless junkets to resort destinations, which employees openly use to facilitate personal vacations.
Yep. Justified as
nice.
building awareness of the agency, right?
Hey, our agency's real. Look, I'm on vacation.
So one of the quotes from the employees when they were interviewed by Doge was, "Let me give you an honest truth. A lot of MCS employees don't do a hell of a lot, including myself. Personally, the reason I've stayed is I just don't feel like working hard. Plus, it's a location on K Street, which is in Washington, D.C. It's great. Don't you blame me? Oversized windows. Plus, management doesn't seem to care if we stay out for lunch."
I mean, I don't blame them. And what's cool about that is, the let me give you the honest truth.
Right. You don't.
There's only one, folks,
right.
and it's
right.
always honest if it's the truth.
Right. So top FMCS official had a recreation and reception fund, ordered $200 coasters for his office.
Hey, gotta have nice coasters.
Right. Gotta have nice coasters. Let's see. He commissioned his
purchased
wife
artwork painted by his wife.
$2,400 retouching for a portrait.
Oh, dude.
Right. They also had their credit cards unblocked, so they couldn't be called out for using the credit card for things they shouldn't be. One employee leased a BMW on the government credit card. The other one billed his cell phone, his cable TV, his vacation home, and his subscription to USA Today. So that was another employee.
Well, why else would you read that unless it was free?
Right. Well, it wasn't free, but for him, I guess.
Yeah, but we have to pay for it. But
there was another gentleman who rented a storage unit. I want to know what's in that storage unit. And it was near his home in rural Virginia, and it was 2 hours away from the office. But there was a photo album of his dog. He also spent $18,000 in jewelry.
How did we just skip over his name?
No, his name is
Funkhauser.
Dan Funkhauser.
Funkhauser.
Right? Yeah,
that
go
dude
figure
houses
that.
the funk.
Right. God, man. And
that's hilarious.
$18,000 in jewelry on the government credit card. And also he destroyed all purchase of his card. He discarded records of the purchases of his card when he left the agency.
If you're robbing, why wouldn't you?
Right. Another employee paid $85,000 to start a business with a friend, listing it as a call center service, even though the company had neither a website or a working phone. So they hired a call service for $85,000 a year that didn't have a phone. So you decide whether that money was well spent or not, right? There was the part about Carol Berth. Yeah, she had GSA, General Services Administration, said, "Hey, you guys are messing up. You guys are spending way too much money." And then the manager went ahead and wrote a letter in her name, rescinding her original statement that they were thieves and liars. One purchase, let's see, said it was something like Real Life, The Office. If you've ever seen that TV show, that's
one of my favorites.
Real Life Office. One purchase, $30,000 for trinkets marking employees' anniversaries. Right?
Nice.
That was nice, right? That's nice of him. There was a hallway improvement project to a lease building, which is awesome, right? Usually the person who owns the building kind of takes care of that, right?
Generally. Yeah. Unless you want to line it in gold.
Right. Well, they had an in-house gym. Purchased a $1,000
awesome.
TV for the gym, $3,800 for an ice maker for the gym, and a $600 stereo. Let's see here. They paid $900 for English essentials and a grammar refresher course. That's the quality people you have working here, guys. I mean, come on, a grammar refresher course. You're killing me. That's just the stuff they spent in the office.
And I would be okay with developing your communication skills if I thought that these people did something with themselves, honestly.
Yeah, but,
doesn't seem like they do.
No,
right?
It doesn't. Not at all. And this is not even getting to the lifestyle money they spent that they found yet, right?
That's awesome.
He employed we'll get there. There was a top FMCS official employed a sister-in-law as a special assistant, right? He created another high-level job for a friend that didn't have any, had no statement of work. So he was there, didn't actually have to do anything. Trainers, they were classified as trainers. They were paid $1,500 a day to train the staff, plus $163 a day or an hour for travel. So,
nice.
If they drove awesome. 2 hours, $1,500 a day takes you 2 hours to get to work, right?
Can't beat that.
Yeah, can't beat that.
It's a nice commute purse.
Well, yep. There was another gentleman paid $174,000 a year. That wasn't enough. That was his yearly salary. His duty station was listed in Iowa so that he could have all his living expenses paid and his food paid while he was in D.C. So he lived in D.C., but he qualified his home address as in Iowa. So
That's
he was
awesome.
Constantly on a 6-year-long business trip. He was on a 6-year-long business trip. We paid for everything for this guy for 6 years.
Well, our kids did.
Right, our kids did. Right, our grandkids. Right. FMCS hired a mail carrier who lived in Pennsylvania, who agreed to pay for her to stay in a hotel. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Instead, they could have just found somebody in the area to do her job, but they decided to fly somebody in So they hired her to go to a hotel room, quote unquote, for half a month. What do you think she was really coming out for? Right.
Yeah.
You know why, right? Same thing like the guy hired his sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. Right. No, and it's constant junkets. It just goes
Steered
on
work
and
to
on.
the previous employer. I mean, it's just constant.
And it goes on and on. Cash grants for insiders, right? That's not abused, right?
Misuse and abuse.
He gave $63,000 to a hospital that was found to be bankrupt, $51,000 to child care companies to help pay for licensing fees, $51,000 to a child care company to help for government licensing fees, $57,000 to strengthen the culture, an improvement to drive us to world-class excellence. What kind of a word salad is that? $60,000 lost.
Yeah. I can tell you how to be excellent for $60,000.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell them how excellent they are.
It's no problem.
No problem. I just, this is one tiny little...
What did it say at the bottom there?
This is one little tiny snippet of just the blatant corruption, right? Where here?
Up a little bit.
Up a little bit, right there.
A decade later, Trump has done what even the agency's own employees said should happen. Shut it down.
Shut it down. Yeah, shut it down.
Interesting.
And this is just a small one. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, and I know it's not a popular statement to say right now, but God bless Elon Musk. God bless Doge.
It is popular if you were to pull the polls, right? I mean, he's up 54%. That means it's popular.
I live by, believe the polls, but,
Me too, yeah.
Right. But you look at this is undeniably provable that this was hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. It's easily millions of dollars that are getting wasted yearly with nobody caring. And it's just
it's terrible.
It's government money. We'll just buy it. No oversight. Nobody thought in that agency like, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. hey, dude, boss, like maybe you shouldn't buy a $3,000 painting from your wife to give to the guy who's worked here for 6 months. Like that might not be a good idea.
He's like, yeah, but then we can't go on vacation.
Oh, right. Yeah.
If we don't do that.
Yeah. Right. Ugh,
yeah. It's terrible, man.
Yeah. It's terrible. And
terrible,
we'll have more of these as they come up.
Oh yeah.
If you see something that you'd like to bring to attention, just throw us a link. Send us an email at the Blacksmith and the Tech Guy at gmail.com.
Or toss it in the comments.
Toss it in the comments.
We'll take a look.
Yep, we'd love to.
Sure.
We'd love to hear from you.
The one I had was Gary Underhill.
Oh yes,
So
the JFK Files was also another big story that came out this week.
Yeah, and I haven't got to filter through too much of them here.
Yeah.
This one right here is about Gary Underhill.
Yeah.
Basically, Gary Underhill worked as an intelligence agent during World War II. He was a CIA official and affiliate.
Okay.
So he did a lot of work with the CIA and all over,
Right.
like most of them do, I guess.
Sure.
But he wasn't directly an agent at the time of JFK's killing, from what I understand.
Still associated.
But he was an associate
right. Gotcha.
of the agency and had been an agent.
And once an agent, always an
work.
agent. Once an agent, always an agent. Right.
So basically, right after JFK was shot, the next day, he went running from D.C. and went to a friend's house in Jersey, and he told that friend that he knew who was responsible for the death of JFK, that it was a small group within the CIA who JFK had found out about that was going to he was going to disband.
Wow.
And he was scared for his life. 6 months later, he's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
And he died from suicide. Now, Gary Underhill was right-handed. His suicide was a shot in the back of the left ear. So I don't know if you can see me, but he shot himself like this, or he magically went like this and was able to shoot himself.
Well, no,
they don't even give you the. You can't find online. I could not find the caliber of the weapon used, but I think we all know what happened.
I can tell you what happened. It's easy.
Me too.
So the bullet hole was on the left. He's right-handed. He had one of those reverse guns that sucked the bullet into the gun, so it came in this way.
Like the one that Oswald used.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Magic bullets.
Yeah,
right?
magic bullets.
Yeah.
They go around.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back and left, right?
Yeah.
So
this is
anyway,
awesome.
This is a little piece of that right here. And
if you get a shot, take a look.
It's pretty cool.
There's a lot of information that's still coming out because the government, in their fashion, just kind of upchucked like 80,000 documents without like any kind of rhyme or reason to it. There's still people going through it. There's a lot of data there, and I'm of the personal opinion it's probably going to be a month or two before we actually get folks that can get in there and extract all the important data out of there. I've seen all kinds of stuff, and what it seems to be is like right now, if somebody's looking at the documents, they're finding what they're looking for, and I don't know if we've got a cohesive picture of the whole thing yet. So I'm trying to stay neutral until we can get a little bit more time to digest all of that information, if that kind of makes sense. I saw some things that were related to the state of Israel, that the CIA wanted it redacted and it wasn't. Not that to implicate them in any untoward doing, but there was a lot of references to the government of Israel, and I wanted to get look more into that. Being a Christian, that's kind of important to me. There was another item. There was a Gary Underhill, which was pretty important. There was a lot of stuff in regards to Cuba that was also involved there as well. So
I haven't got to dive into that yet.
Yeah, and there's just so much information, and anyone who's honest and looking at this right now can't say anything other than like, yeah, there's a lot of cool information that we've seen on this, but we don't know yet, and we don't really know if there's anything. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't that smoking gun in here, because it's probably been deleted, 4 decades ago.
Not to mention, an agency. Why would like I'm going to investigate myself for fraud? Okay.
Right. Yeah. No. I know.
Oh.
Right.
I'm innocent, guys.
Yeah.
Right. Like, why would they do a serious investigation? It's just like the 9/11 investigation, all that stuff.
Right.
Right. Like with Nixon, right. All that kind of stuff. It's really like you can't investigate yourself and expect to have a real outcome.
The one thing I haven't seen that I don't know was released in this dump, because I know originally that everything was supposed to be released. But one moment. Excuse me, sorry. I'm getting over cold here. The one thing that I didn't see anybody come up with yet, there is the actual Jackie Kennedy. She sat down with a special session of Congress, and she testified as to what she saw and what she did. And that was all transcribed and written. And I thought that would be, if it was released, that would be one of the bigger stories. But I haven't seen anybody get into that yet or find it yet.
Me either.
So maybe there's more to come. Who knows?
I mean, it looks like if you go to, if we were to start a new conversation, looks like we can search the JFK files right here, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So I don't really know.
Well, click on it and say if Jackie Kennedy...
deep search thinking.
Deep search thinking. Yeah, say Jackie Kennedy...
Okay.
It was a Jackie Kennedy what's the word of that? The
testimony.
Testimony. That's the word I was looking for.
Let's see if her testimony was found in the files. No, there was no mention of Jackie Kennedy's testimony in the newly released JFK files from March 18th. Based on a subset of documents provided, the files primarily focus on CIA activities, interviews with CIA personnel like William K. Harvey, and operations such as Operation Mongoose. No reference to Jackie Kennedy's testimony or statements regarding the assassination. Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Let's see. Let's ask, where is the testimony for Jackie Kennedy? Or where is the testimony of Jackie Kennedy?
I think I missed
one. Oh, yeah.
there.
Where is that testimony? That's good.
Oh.
You stopped it before it had a chance to think. Oh. Say, well, where is the testimony? Where is the copy of the testimony?
Warren Commission testimony.
No, it's where is Jackie Kennedy's testimony, or where is a copy of Jackie Kennedy's testimony? Jackie Kennedy's
from the
Warren Commission.
Is it from the Warren Commission?
Yeah, from the Warren Commission.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, missed that there.
Is publicly available.
Of the hearings before the President's Commission on the Assassination.
I'll read out loud, don't mumble.
Yeah, sorry about that. It says her testimony is recorded in Volume 5 of the hearings before the President's Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy, pages 178 through 183. What does it say?
Yeah, but I heard if you click on that link, it's blank.
Right here?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Ooh.
Right. It's not there.
Uh-oh. That's
Tell
interesting.
Grok, say it's not there.
Grok, it's not there.
This stuff's so fascinating.
I understand your frustration. I wasn't frustrated. Not yet.
National Archives physical records.
Oh, gotta have physical records.
Digitized version is on their website. No, it's not.
No. There is not a digital version.
Or tell it you click on the link and it shows blank. Whatever, Huh. Yeah, that's what everybody was trying to get a hold of those. Or folks that I know of were trying to get a hold of that, and then they said it hasn't been.
I'm sorry for the confusion. I appreciate your patience as we sort this out. You're right to point out that the specific link I provided may not be landing you directly on Jackie Kennedy's testimony in a clear, accessible digital format. National Archive pages I linked is supposed to host.
Yeah, it's supposed to host, right? Yeah.
Oh, boy, guys.
Yeah.
So it just gets, the pile gets deeper.
Right.
That's interesting.
Isn't it? That's, it's an interesting...
I'd like to know.
One more conspiracy, throw in the pile.
Yeah. If they just let us know, it'd be fine.
Well, you know that. They can't do that. There's too much money involved. Too many powerful people involved.
Yeah.
LBJ did it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Or I knew about it at least.
That's what
plan it.
Yeah. I don't
moved
know.
it forward. 100%.
Yeah. It's
made a lot of money in that war.
How many people died getting too close to the Clintons? And don't start with the conspiracy crap. They're criminals, just like LBJ was. Most politicians are criminals. Get out of here.
I would agree.
And it just depends on how powerful you are. That if you can kill somebody and get away with it,
That's right.
We still don't have Epstein.
That's
There's
very
case
true.
in point, right? They didn't even kill anybody. They just diddled little kids.
which is worse.
Sick bastards.
Which is much worse. Yeah. To me.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad, but
I guess, yeah.
I
think there's a special place for them.
Still praying those guys get what they get. Get what they deserve. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, you want to jump on?
Yeah, let's jump on.
Jump on to trades.
Trades. Yeah, we've got a couple of different topics we'd like to go through with the trades, and we've got
we'll do both trades and technology.
Trades and tech together. Yep. I personally had I was kind of dabbling because in all fair disclosure, I'm a general blacksmith. I'm not necessarily a knife maker, but I do make knives from time to time. And then up on the screen here was a knife that I did, and it's strictly stock removal. And this is when I pulled it out fresh out of the acid etch. And I thought it was kind of a cool process. Usually, when I forge knives, they're hand forged out of steel with hand and hammer, and they're not stock removal. If you don't know and you're not, too acclimated to what that means, is if I make a sword, I get a hunk of steel and I hammer it into shape. Hammer in the bevels where the edge of the knife goes, and kind of put it into shape before I heat treat it and do all the processes to get it, strong and sturdy and finished as a knife. When you do a stock removal process, you're using primarily a belt sander, and you have a flat piece of stock that's already to thickness, and you're not doing any forging. You're just grinding away material to create the shape that you want of the knife, of the bevels and all that kinds of stuff. So there's a reason for that, though. This particular knife, I purchased a billet from a great company. These guys are awesome. Baker Forge and Tool. These guys do some awesome stuff with Damascus. And this picture here, it's a Tiger Mai with a Damascus core. To give a there's a lot of technical jargon there that people who wouldn't know in the industry wouldn't know necessarily what that means. The Damascus core just means it's a Damascus style pattern welded steel. Usually it's alternating layers of steel that when they're acid etched, they show different patterns. So the shiny steel usually has a higher nickel content, which resists acid etching, and then the other one doesn't, so it turns like a dark gray or black depending on what you're using to etch it. Tiger Mai is their personal version of it, and it's just in reference to the stripes that it has. So this one is just copper and steel layered together, which mine is the one that I was working on actually has bronze and copper with a 80 CRV2 core. That's his copper cladding. Oh yeah, it's bronze. There you go, 1084. So it gives it, oh yeah, you can see a little bit of the gold in there now that I look real close. So the Mai version of it, to kind of give you a knife 101, that it's kind of a play on words. So yeah, you can see there, it's a little different of a pattern, but it's got a core here along the edge of the knife, which is a solid high carbon steel, and then it's layered on there. The Mai is a reference to Tiger Mai is their version of what's called, it's the San Mai is the original term that it comes from, and that's used for when you have a solid core of a high carbon steel and then you wrap that in a layer of something. So usually it's Damascus of some kind, but I've seen guys do wrought iron, that kind of stuff. That makes a cool pattern, but it's that strong super hard core that can hold that edge, and then you wrap the fancy stuff around it, and that's the kind of San Mai idea, and that's their Tiger Mai version. So but they've got a lot of different types of just gorgeous Damascus. If you're interested in making knives, I'd check them out. If you're a starting out knife maker, maybe not start out on a billet like that, because sometimes depending on how much work these guys have to put into it, it's worth it for what they charge, but they still can get pricey. Even a standard Damascus billet, when I make one, is usually somewhere in the neighborhood of, depending on how complicated it is, can be somewhere between 5-10 hours, just for easy Damascus, where it can get into the days of work on one billet, But yeah, I'd check them out, Baker Forge and Tool. They got a lot of stuff. And then if you're looking to get into acid etching, they have a product that they call, they have a product they call Gator Piss, which is it's pretty good. Yeah, that's it. They're the ones. Yep, use that stuff, and that's good for acid etching. Makes all kinds of Gator Piss is name of stuff. So yeah, no, good guys there. I check it out. But yeah, if you have any questions about sandmine, knife making, forging in general, when I teach forging classes. And we do our knife classes. We actually teach students how to hand forge the knives, and we don't do stock removal. Usually that's something you want to, makes you a better knife maker if you learn how to use the hammer first and then get into the grinding later, I think, because you have a lot more available to you, you know.
I took one of the first knife making class, and I can tell you it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
It's fun stuff.
A lot of fun, and a good workout.
Yep. If you're interested in looking at classes, you can go to fireironforge.com/classes. You can take a look, and we have classes in the middle of the week and on most weekends. So we have a variety of options: knife making, general curriculum classes. We do a modified curriculum from Abana, so we add a little more things. That Abana is the Artist Blacksmith Association of North America, and then they have a curriculum that we go by and add a couple of different things that they that we feel that would help students in the different levels. So, so yeah, it's a great time. If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask, right?
This is my favorite piece right here.
Oh,
I love the herring.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing that is. But
yeah,
that's like, I absolutely love that herring. So.
That piece is actually going to be back up on display at the North Idaho Museum in Coeur d'Alene. It's the last leg of the art tour. That particular piece was on tour most of last year. Kind of went all over Idaho. It's a piece that was commissioned by the Idaho Commission of the Arts as part of their Beyond Borders program, honoring folk trades. So everything from handmade guitars to hand weaving, basket making, blacksmithing, anything that had to do with the trade. So it's really good to get involved with them. So
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love that piece.
Yeah,
speaks to me.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's jump on. Oh yeah. So my toolboxes.
Oh, next we're jumping to a different topic here.
My toolbox has exploded. So I moved recently, and well, I can't fit everything because I got rid of these huge storage cabinets that I had. I had all my blow mold cases, and I had a ton of different specialty tools in those boxes. My hammers, saws, stuff like that, in those large 4-drawer storage containers.
Sure.
And I got rid of those when I moved. Couldn't fit them anywhere else. So now I have a 5-drawer. I'll show you.
Okay.
What I have. I have a standard Craftsman, like 28-inch top and bottom. Right. It's like probably 40 years old.
Legacy, yeah. Yep. And
then I have a 5-drawer. No, thank you. Okay, guys. Good golly.
And I can tell you,
know where you go to get tools here anymore.
I've got a bunch of toolboxes in my shop as well, and I've got everything from a giant, huge Snap-on box that I bought 20 years ago almost, to Harbor Freight cart special. I'm Home Depot. I've got variety levels of one of those.
So I've got that
basically
5-drawer.
Yep.
They call it a 5-drawer right there, right? It's not bad. It's really good. I've had it for about 10 years, 9 years now. Works great. I've used it a lot, but it really only can hold so much, obviously, right? And then a 28-inch Craftsman, stackable, but it's still, they're shallow drawers. It doesn't hold a lot. So I'm in the market for a new toolbox. I need a place to put my tools for guitar work, for just automotive tools, and construction tools, along with
firearm repair, all kinds of stuff.
And a lot of electronics tools, stuff like that. Some bigger things, power supplies, stuff like that. So what I'm looking for is I want to get a toolbox and build out a workstation so that I can run my oscilloscopes and stuff like that, and do electrical work on computer hardware, as well as guitar amps and guitars. And also work on my vehicles when I need to. So it's like general use, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for anything crazy, but I also want to get a good value, and I appreciate nice things. So of course. I always look. My first place that I always look is. That's interesting.
Good old Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace, right? Because I'm looking for the guy that bought a box for $12,000 that needs to sell it for $2,000
Right.
or $1,000, and there's plenty of those on here. Right?
I got to tell you, I'm getting Elon Musk made
Look, see, $1. You can get this one for $1.
Yeah, right. Elon Musk was saying that they're not far away from on X having a version of Marketplace there as well.
Oh, that'd be so beautiful.
That'd be nice.
So we have right, that's not too bad. It looks in all right shape. It's fine.
Yeah.
So what is 57-inch box? What it looks like, something like that.
47.
47. Sorry, yeah. So really, what I'm looking for is a big top drawer.
Yeah,
need that.
beat up.
I need a deep one here.
$1,000, but see, I can get
$1,000 for that box, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, it's a high quality box, but here's a
There's
classic
right there, right there.
and a Shure.
Sure,
Those are
yeah.
expensive, kind of
Yeah,
Shure boxes.
yeah, 2 of them. Yep.
But that's each.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
is it?
$2,000
yeah,
each,
no,
yeah.
that's not. Yeah,
So
that's not a deal.
here's a U.S. General, $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's still in the crate.
Yep.
Look at that, nice color too.
Yeah, the gray. Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
gray.
1,500.
So-
I'd give him 1,000 for it. See what he said.
Well, yeah, I would ask him. I might end up asking him because what I'm looking at is, I mean, that's nice right there. I don't need that though. That's like it's similar
that
to your
steel
box,
top
but
is
it's
beautiful.
got the yeah.
I don't have the steel top on mine, but
Yeah,
that's
it's got the
almost
double
my
lock.
yeah. That's almost exactly my box.
Yeah, it's real close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we go.
Now, me being in the automotive, yeah,
Right,
I know.
like, yeah,
so
right.
me being in the automotive industry, I am definitely partial to Snap-on boxes.
Yeah, beautiful.
I think they're great. They work great. I've had mine for 20 years and it still works perfect. However, I can't ignore the fact that when you look at, and it is, man, it's Chinese, right? But more and more now, Snap-on is buying their stuff from them and putting their old packaging on it. Not necessarily their
Not the tool
toolboxes.
storage, though.
Yeah, not the tool storage, but a lot of the tools that they're purchasing. But more and more, you can't deny the quality. And when, if you're a homeowner especially, and it's a quarter of the price, I mean, how do you justify jumping in? And to be honest, if you're a homeowner, and you're working out of your home, you don't need a toolbox that's rated to be opened and closed and slammed and beat up 50 times a day.
It's
where, you can go with the U.S. General, which is a quarter of the price, probably.
So if we're looking at we're looking at this, right? We're looking at $8.99, right? This is not on a deal. So they get, of course, a lot of times they have a 25% off, right?
Right.
Kind of thing going on. Not to mention, if you were, interested, a lot of times if you're just watching, you're going to see some excellent deals pop through for these guys.
Yeah. Let's pull on. I haven't seen what Snap-on boxes go for in a while. I don't mean to cut you
I'll
off,
pull
but
it
let's pull it up and see
Yeah.
Snap-on.
So
boxes.
let's see. So the competitive one. So this is a 56-inch that we're looking at right here.
So that's
okay?
the Harbor Freight,
Harbor Freight
homeowners edition.
U.S. General, right?
Yeah.
This is the series that I'm kind of looking at right now.
The Icon is their upgraded,
and this is the 56-inch, so a similar
Okay.
version. It's $2,500.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
expensive,
Right.
but it is 20 times the box in terms of
From the
steel
US General.
quality.
Right. From the
Then
U.S. General.
So there is a huge difference
Right.
between the two.
Right.
Now let's look at a Snap-on 56, see if we can find one.
Yeah. See if they have the prices on their website, which they might not, because usually you have to get it through a tool truck, and the tool trucks have some wiggle room on what they charge. And they don't. I don't think you can buy directly from the website. I think you have to go through their vendors and their truck dealers, which is
So Master Series is what is standard.
Yeah.
So we have Work Center. Where's the boxes? Overhead cabinets, lockers, in cabs.
Upper left,
So
roll
we do-
cabs.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
So we got 72. There's a
54.
54.
Yeah.
So look at 54-inch.
Yeah.
Rear.
Ooh, $8,100.
8 Gs.
That's before tax.
Okay. Nice box.
That's literally, it's a
Freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a quarter of the price though.
Made in the USA. That's
Now,
nice.
in all disclosure, if you are a professional and you're in your box every day, you want to spend the money for the better box.
But
It's
these,
going to hurt for a while.
Right here, they do 0% financing
Yeah.
instead of 40% like the Snap-on truck's going to do for you
Yeah.
if you have not great credit, right?
Right.
And steel wise, it's the same steel gauge wise. The same gauge steel on the Icon boxes, not the U.S. Generals, but the Icon boxes, same
Right.
gauge steel. So you're probably going to get very similar use case out of them.
There's going to be some changes. Like you can tell by looking at the casters.
But 100%, these are,
You know,
well, actually, I don't know. Let's see. What's 227 pound capacity.
per drawer.
Heavy duty drawer slides support up to
Okay,
220
so-
per set.
Right.
So that's per two.
Okay.
Okay. So that's pretty good. So that's probably 500 on this top drawer and this bottom drawer down
right.
here. What do we have? Do we have load capacity 3,600 pounds?
Okay.
Okay, that's not bad.
No,
That's pretty excellent.
that's pretty good.
Specifications.
Specifications.
2,000 pound rated suspension casters with easy locks. There's 4 casters.
All right.
That's 8,000 pounds. Wow. Working load 8,000 pounds.
Holy crap.
So it blows this thing out of the water in terms of working weight. Almost doubles it.
That's a mind. That blows my mind.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Lifetime warranty, by the way, on
Yeah.
both of these
On
boxes.
both the boxes.
On the Snap-on and the Icon. So
Man.
now,
That's a game
I would
changer
like
right there.
to support an American-made product.
Right.
I'm
I
not
tell you
paying
what,
that
But I tell you what.
for a homeowner box.
No,
But-
that's not a homeowner box. But you would use.
I
it
will
for,
pay it.
you know,
If I can find something for $1,000, $1,500,
Yeah.
I would consider it here because lifetime warranty.
Right.
Right, like this is a older box, older than yours,
Yeah.
because it doesn't have the
slide
casters
locks,
are different. Doesn't
yeah.
have the slide locks. Yeah. So, which I don't
Yeah.
love.
Man, that weight limit's different. Because I can guarantee if
Isn't
my
that
toolbox
crazy?
weighs more than 3,000 pounds. I guarantee
Well, you have a Heritage series,
Yeah.
right, instead of
Yeah.
the Masters, because
Right.
the Masters I think came out after yours.
Right.
So I don't know what the weight limit is on the Masters. We can take a quick look, or on the Heritage rather.
Yeah.
And really, if you were to look at,
But
let's see,
I bought mine in like 2003.
Yeah.
And I paid $5,000 for it off the truck, I think.
yeah. So here's a 73-inch. Let's see if there's
Yeah.
any difference on that. So 25-inch drawers, the Snap-on Master, the KRL. Which ones are they? They're the Master series
Yeah.
or the Heritage series. They have a 24-inch drawer.
Yeah.
So this is an inch deeper, which is one of the issues with a lot of the homeowner, right? Boxes was the drawer depth.
They're
Like
shallow.
19 inches.
Yeah,
Is like
super
it's
shallow.
terrible, right?
Right.
Can barely fit anything in there, and they don't extend all the way. These do. These pull all the way out.
Right.
So the drawers come all the way out. Let's see if there's a difference in weight.
Working load,
No,
8,000 pounds.
8,000 pounds working
That's
load.
still
Product
wow.
weight 897 pounds.
Well, if you end up getting one, it'd be interesting. We can get a video together and we can kind
Be
of
kinda
compare the
fun.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of see.
Let's
compare
look
the
at
two.
their. I'm curious. Well, look at 12,251
square inches.
square inches. Do we have that on here? That would be super cool if they did. Yeah. Cubic inches. 33,000. 10,000 more cubic inches. That's
Wow.
pretty nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Here we go. 265 pound
Wow.
single and a 530 pound double.
On this double slide doors. Yeah.
Where here we were looking at 227 pounds
Yeah.
or something like that.
Wow.
So-
What's the overall weight? Maybe that's it.
That's what I'm looking at. Net weight 892 pounds.
Okay.
And here we're looking at
Net weight.
897, 5 more pounds.
Wow.
Dude,
That
that's
is-
nuts. And
that
it's
is
literally a quarter the price.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What's this? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Whoa,
It's a fifth
$15,000.
the price. Dang.
Man, I don't know. I can't. Maybe that's just an old curmudgeon coming out at me, but I could not justify spending 15,000
15 grand, dude.
15 grand for a box.
And then
Like,
you're going to
in my
you're probably
mind-
going to want a hood,
In
right,
my,
or something, right, to lock
Right.
up your blow molds and all
Sure.
that on, and a light, and you need a writing surface and your laptop nowadays, right?
yeah,
And
right.
a scan tool, all that stuff. Like,
In
dude,
my
you're
mind,
deep.
Like I would feel guilty spending $15,000 on a car.
Yeah,
You know,
227. I know, seriously.
let alone the toolbox.
227 pounds is what it says capacity there on that single drawer. It's 265.
What are the engine options on these toolboxes?
The engine option. I
Yeah.
think we have a diesel. There's got to be a Duramax in this, right? We can live in it. Oh, there's a house.
An LS.
It's a house. Yeah, it says an LS.
An LS motor under
Twin turbo LS. Yeah, that's gnarly right there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of load capacity 6,800 pounds. So 1,200 pounds less on the 73.
Wow. That's nuts.
So really, it's more like there's not a question. I'm not buying a Snap-on new, obviously. I
Yeah.
don't need it. I really don't need this.
All right.
But it's hard to not want it.
But for the right, I know.
Because of the price.
Right.
It's like,
If you
yeah,
got
that's really
room.
good, but you're never going to have to buy another one ever.
Hey, no, that's the thing. You know, like especially in my in my shop is if it can fit, you know, it's buy one. It's buy once, cry once, or cry once, buy once.
But you know, if you were on a budget, serious
Yeah.
budget, here you go, $350,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's
And honestly, that much right there is way more space
More
than
than
most
most people
people
need.
have in
100%.
tools. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I mean, we're looking at look at 10,000
cubic inch.
Yeah, that's
for what,
that's
three?
the difference between the Snap-on and the Icon.
Yeah. Wow.
200 pounds though. I mean, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? But that's okay. 1,200 pound working load, dude. Most
No,
people
that's-
don't have 1,200 pounds
Right.
of tools.
No, that's it. That's amazing. No,
Yeah.
that's a great price for a a
Yeah.
starting toolbox. Or and actually, that's an intermediate toolbox. Honestly,
Yeah,
you know,
it's fine. That'll
that's-
do just fine. If you're
Yeah.
in school, there you go. And
absolutely.
honestly, if you're in school, there you go.
And you know what? To be honest,
Like this thing's killer.
those toolboxes, I use those toolboxes exactly when I go out and do like fairs, and I do live events. Sometimes I'll go out and do demonstrations and that kind of stuff, and that's perfect size to carry like enough of
Yeah,
my
they
tongs.
roll well.
They roll well, enough tongs
Yours
and tools.
is like, let's just, what's the capacity, the weight rating on this? Because oh wow.
700
700
pounds. I put
pounds.
more than 700 pounds.
I, well, yours, when you breathe, it goes like this.
It wobbles. Yeah.
It's like twisting.
Yeah. Let's see. The swage blocks I usually put on the bottom shelf are probably somewhere around 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Just in the bottom shelf.
Yeah, that
And
thing
then-
is.
And then it's full.
packed.
It's full with punches and tongs and drifts and hammers and all kinds of stuff when I take it out on the road. you
Wow,
know.
look at that.
That's pretty fair.
I mean,
pretty fair.
that's $600 box.
Yeah, and if that thing had better
Roll
wheels
cart.
on it, I would use that as my.
Yeah, you'd be freaking.
I'd be
terrible.
stoked, but I'd still.
But that 5 drawer is awesome, huh? I really do like it.
Yeah, no, that's.
And
that's
I would
really
roll it
good.
out over the gravel
Yep.
and stuff, and never had any trouble
Yeah,
with it.
no.
Which is what you're doing when you're going to shows.
Oh yeah, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering. I don't know. I mean, it would be nice because they're beautiful.
Well, to be honest, like looking at this and comparing them like that, it's kind of like you're buying the name, man. It's like this is a pair of Nikes right here. This is a Flex.
Yeah.
Like you're paying for,
Right.
you're paying an extra $5,000, $6,000 for.
Here's
a
the
Flex.
Heritage Series, right?
Yeah.
This is your box,
Yeah, a little different.
right? Pretty close. You got the top drawer. You got your writing drawer. Do you have you only have one drawer up top, right?
The big top drawer.
Yeah, just one. I think
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the because when you
looks-
bought it, it wasn't the Heritage Series, of
Right,
course.
I know, right. Yeah, that's crazy because it's about the same price.
Yeah, that's not bad, huh? It's not too
Compared,
crazy.
right?
Yeah.
Comparatively to the other ones.
Yeah. So if we're looking here, net weight, 350 pounds,
Yeah.
and this is 2 of those icons of a
Right.
73-inch icon.
Yeah. Right.
What's our working load? Load capacity 2,400 pounds.
Oh, I got way more than 2,500.
So it's a
pounds.
quarter. And I'm sure that you could probably put 5 times.
You could
that,
probably put 5.
honestly.
Easy. You can probably
You know,
put 5,000 in there probably. Yeah.
20,000. Even that's not bad.
No.
But yeah, these are the ones that you see used a lot. The little bit older ones, which is
Right.
fine with me because I've
It's weird. Mine's the opposite way. My tool.
it's left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A small.
which is nice for writing. It
Yeah.
actually feels weird here. Being
Yeah.
right-handed, it feels better doing
Yeah.
your right on
That's-
the left side.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's the way to do it.
But that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, toolboxes.
Huh.
They're always fun.
Yeah,
you know?
toolboxes. So take a look out there. Make sure you compare because it's obviously such a big price difference, and the quality might not be as much different.
Yeah, honestly.
Obviously, that goes to say, like, yeah, there's raw specs here, but there's things like getting up and chesting it. Like, feel the casters. Like,
Yeah.
that's not something that's listed here. Like,
Right.
they can both have roller bearings on the casters, but they all could also be junk. That could be where the price difference comes from. The boxes are going to feel different.
And you can almost guarantee that the steel's coming from the same place.
That's probably, yeah.
But I would love to pay for the American box, of course. And
Right.
maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get one on Facebook. They have a lifetime warranty. It carries over. So if I get one on Facebook, it's not really a big deal. I just got to find
Right.
a driver if I
It's
ever have
funny.
an issue.
I'd love to find an old Kennedy box.
See, there's dude, there was one for sale the other day.
Was there?
That's nice right there.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't like the color, but
I don't
it's
like
not
green
bad.
either.
Yeah, and people don't know they're a lesser known brand that's not around anymore. I don't think.
But they're an engineer's box.
they're engineers boxes that Kennedy
Freaking
boxes are boxes that will last 200-300 years. They are just amazing. Amazing
Yeah, I was
tool
looking for them the
boxes.
other day. Here we go.
Yeah, and they're just old
they're
school.
For machinists.
Yeah, they're
a lot of
machinists. They are old school, no frills, mega overbuilt, amazing boxes.
Yeah, my grandpa had a couple Kennedy boxes.
Yeah. They are definitely worth it. You know, the quality's there for sure.
You fit like nothing in there.
That thing's seen some work. Look at the casters on that thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You put a car on that thing.
Yeah, that's gnarly, dude. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Anyway, they're always fun, right? It's always, oh my gosh, this is awesome to the kids' toys.
Oh, the kids' toys, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
It's cool.
Get them addicted early.
Get them going early, yeah. Oh, hey, here's a Kennedy right here. $900.
Wow, that's a pretty box, man.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, it's got the aircraft wheels. Did you see the first picture? That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's got cup holders.
Yeah, perfect. It looked like they're perfect for
coffee.
40 ounce.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean coffee. Hey, that's $900. That ain't bad, man.
No, that's something to look at.
It's in Washougal, so I don't know where the heck that is.
Washington, somewhere on the river. It looks like.
I'm not allowed to be in that state, I don't think.
Yeah, won't.
Not for too long.
Yeah,
and they smell me.
Like, get out. There's freedom.
There's freedom driving around here. Get that freedom out.
Yeah, well, that's good. Thanks for taking us through your kind of
it's fun, right? That's kind of what I'm playing with, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you decide to get one, or when you get one, we'll go through it.
Yeah,
we'll do a follow up.
Yeah, 100%.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
So on that note, we're going to switch up. We're going to
music and entertainment.
Tab had a book that was tied to a documentary, I believe, about Charles Manson. So
it's kind of a famous guy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and it's not just about Manson. It's about the secret history of CIA and was there ties between the Mansons and the CIA and all that kind of stuff.
The most interesting thing about this, I think, is the tie to the CIA, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we recall, in the 60s, there was a little bit of a movement that started with hippies. And we had the Black Panther movement going at the same time.
Right.
The CIA was actively, this is known if you can read about this, was actively trying to destroy both.
Okay. Right.
They had infiltrated it. They were trying to destroy it from within.
Sure.
They were trying to destroy it with racism on the other sides against each other. I mean, they tried several things.
Right. Pit people against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this is that if you look at 1969 and the Manson murders, you actually can see when that movement stopped. So the murders happened, and that it killed the hippie movement, completely killed it, because these hippies committed this crime, this atrocity.
All of a sudden, they weren't just
destroyed
harmless.
Hollywood.
Yeah, so all of a sudden they weren't a harmless kind of weird people. Like now they're
crazy,
sick, dangerous, crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this book, it kind of goes into that a little bit, talking about that, and it's through interviews with people at the time and stuff, and it details. I don't want to give too much of it away, but there's also a documentary on Netflix about it. I have not watched the documentary, so I don't know if it's close to the book or not.
To let you know, name of the book is Chaos: Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s by Tom O'Neill.
O'Neill, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and so it goes through some of the stuff like, for instance, that Charles Manson was enlisted in the MK Ultra studies that were done on federal prisoners.
I see.
I think you can find that online, that he took his family to a doctor in San Francisco to continued MK Ultra testing.
Gotcha.
His family, quote unquote, right? That there was an officer that was around at the time that was also a CIA operative that worked as a communist journalist in Europe. And then all of a sudden came over here and started working in LA as he was a musician, and nobody knew how he had all this money and stuff. And there's pictures of him being high and tight in Europe as this communist writer, he infiltrating the Communist Party.
Right.
And then over here as a hippie musician. And so they go into that quite a bit. And, there's a...
So was he like a plant to try to infiltrate the movements?
Yeah, he was feeding it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he was feeding it. Yeah, feeding the movement. His name is something Wilson, I believe. So I got a buddy at work that's actually been reading it. Is almost done with it. I started it. I'm about, I don't know, a fifth in right now.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
but it's super interesting so far, and it really goes into a lot of detail in terms of interviews and looking at these people who all, putting together all these people who had to all be in these places at the same time for this stuff to happen.
Right.
And, the idea that the murders were, just for, just sporadic, and random, was an idea that was going around for a while that nobody believed. Helter Skelter kind of talks about that. But really it looks like it was more of, motivated by jealousy and anger and stuff, because of the music industry and all kinds of things. So anyway, a lot of people think, and this book details that the CIA had a huge hand in that.
Right.
And what's interesting is Hunter Thompson wrote about that. And he talks about that in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas a little bit.
Hunter Thompson, man, that guy, if you have a moment, like, and you want a deep dive on an interesting person, holy cow, man, he was a very interesting individual.
Another one. So Hunter Thompson unalived himself.
Right.
So when he unalived himself, he was writing a book on the Bushes and human trafficking, and drugs and weapons trade and oil.
Yeah.
And he shot himself with a Colt in 1911. There was 8 rounds in the magazine, which is what the magazine holds.
Right.
And a round did not chamber after the shot that killed him was fired. In other words,
somebody shot him, replaced the magazine,
put a fresh mag in,
throw the gun on the ground, and then called it a day.
Yeah. Good job, right?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, that's my guess on that.
Man, you think they'd get better at that by now?
Oh, I think it's a message to people.
Oh, gotcha.
That's a calling card.
Warning. Right?
Yeah, it's a calling card. Hey, we did it, but you can't do anything about it.
What was that one that happened a few years ago? Was the there's the
guy that put himself in his own bag.
Oh yeah, there was that one.
Up.
That wasn't the one I was thinking about. Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, no.
The guy that shot himself twice in the stomach.
Yeah, shot himself and then sealed himself up in a gym bag. And then there's another one in a drum. Yeah, killed himself and sealed himself in a 50-gallon drum. Yeah, that's all the part of the Hillary Clinton deal. That there was a.
Dang, we just said that like 14 times.
Yeah.
All these people unalive themselves.
Oh, damn.
Right, they unalive themselves.
Well,
so I'm probably gonna have to clip out that whole piece. Actually.
Okay. Well. All right.
Anyway, let's. So, yes. Anyway, so if you haven't read it and you're interested in that type of stuff, it's and what Hunter Thompson had said. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
What Hunter Thompson had said about it is he was talking in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and he was talking about the movement, and he was talking about the hippie movement.
Right.
And he said if you gaze over the desert, you can see the high water mark, where the movement stopped and was pushed back, where the tide came back down and never went back up.
Yeah.
And he's speaking of that time right after the Manson murders.
Right.
That's what a lot of people believe. And he saw that. And that quote gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The CIA, it's funny the in the 60s, the things they had their hands in, the different parts of culture that they were trying to manipulate. I was reading something recently a while back about it was Pollock was the
Jackson
the painter
and
where the CIA knew his kind of stuff was not good, and they propped him up artificially because they wanted to baffle the Russians. Apparently was their reasoning behind it, and trying to get them to chase after him to understand, which I don't know why that makes sense, but it goes with the theme of government just throwing money at stuff.
Yeah.
But
well, it's an easy way, right? You can throw money at things,
right,
and you're hiding it,
right,
so that you can do these different operations and can't be tracked.
That money went to a painting, not a helicopter that got blown up in Colombia. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the idea, right, is a lot of people who believed in a conspiracy theory about Manson believed the MK Ultra stuff, which is true. And they believed that it was an MK Ultra experiment gone wrong.
Could be.
And really, what it probably is an MK Ultra experiment that went right.
It
honestly.
Could be. And it could have been, and you know what, also it might not have been some conspiracy. It could have been something Charles Manson went through the program, and then people lost track of him. And then there's this crazy guy that's whacked out on all these who knows what drugs, and then got let loose.
Right, yeah,
and
like
it's like a
slush fund we were looking at earlier.
Right.
Just was an accident.
Forgot about it. Somebody forgot about it.
Oops.
Let the pit bull loose, left the gate open, let the rabid pit bull loose on the neighborhood, and somebody got bit. Maybe. That's what happened.
Never know.
Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah. All right. Well, let's jump on to our really last segment. Here.
Last segment.
Last little bit of. We don't really know what this is going to be.
Did you?
Oh, we missed that completely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next time. Yeah.
Okay, that works.
On it just because we completely blew over it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to toss it in, but it would be kind of.
I'd rather do that than that.
We could do both.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Another tech. We're kind of going back to tech, so that's all right. I was really excited to hear about this. I think it has a lot. It's going to have a ripple effect. Where I know tech isn't my thing, but I found this found this really interesting. If you haven't heard of Zero Hedge, I kind of like Zero Hedge. They kind of have a
Tyler Durden writes for them, dude. I mean, come on.
Every single one of their articles is written by Tyler Durden. So their writers that they have are anonymous that they write, but a lot of their stuff is sourced, and it's kind of a crossover between politics and finance. So if you find a lot of that stuff interesting, and it's not just politics, but it's like global affairs, all that kinds of stuff from a financial point of view, if that makes sense. I was really excited to hear about this. I think it's going to have a lot of ripple effects all throughout the United States, not just making computers cheaper, but tools, scan tools, things of that nature is going to make them cheaper. I think it's going to have great advancements in AI and computers. And I think the more chips we make here, I know a couple of weeks ago we talked about another chip maker that announced $500 billion investment in Arizona, and NVIDIA, that's what this story is about. NVIDIA CEO announced that he is going to spend hundreds of billions of dollars upgrading their facility in California because NVIDIA is going to want to start making chips here in the United States. And I think that's an fantastic, amazing thing, because NVIDIA lately has been one of the better companies that are out there, in my opinion.
Well, they actually kind of have a complete monopoly on graphics cards, just about. I think they own 93% of the market share.
Wow.
Last year.
Wow.
Something like that. I mean, it's insane.
Right. And, if there's two ways to look at that, if they're the best, they're the ones that are selling.
We also just talked about them catching
fire, right? That's the thing, right? It's, when you're have such a large market share, sometimes that can snuff out innovation, but somebody else makes it better. I don't think anybody would have qualms about jumping on somebody else if, but who knows?
Well, AMD's come out and they're firing right back, and they're going to pull some of that market share back right now, and then NVIDIA's going to have to step up their game. And
you got to compete.
That's excellent.
Either way, bringing that competition here is going to be amazing for us. Yeah. The less and less we have
TSMC and them. Well, they make NVIDIA's chips, right? Oh, okay. So TSMC makes a good amount of NVIDIA's chips, but now NVIDIA's going to primarily be.
Yeah. So the first one was in Arizona, was the chip making facility, and this one's going to be in California.
And that one's TSMC. Yeah. We're talking about Taiwan Semiconductor.
Yeah, right. Taiwan Semiconductor. Yep. They're opening a $500 billion facility in Arizona, and then this one is an upgrade in California. So
pretty cool.
I thought that was really awesome. If you get a chance to check out Zero Hedge, I know there's pretty good place. Commenters get a little crazy sometimes down there, but TSMC, it was 100 billion. I'm sorry, not 500 billion. Real-time fact check there. So TSMC committed 100 billion, and they're coming back and said they are going to spend hundreds with an S of billions of dollars here, which is great.
Several hundred billion, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what that kind of looks like, and what kind of industries. That's going to be great for anybody in tech. It's awesome. It's going to bleed through everything from automotive. It's going to bleed through to computers. It's going to bleed through to gaming systems. It's going to bleed through to, like I said, scan tools. It's going to bleed anything, electronics, TVs.
AI is a big one.
AI, and with there was it Sam Friedman of AI, ChatGPT, who was with Trump, who announced their initiative to was 500 billion. That one was the 500 billion.
Yeah.
That they're going to be putting a lot of time and effort.
Really good friends.
Yeah, I know. Well,
they love each other.
Yeah, I can see both points, of that, but maybe we'll go over that. Yeah, maybe we'll go over that.
Yeah, at a later date. check that out.
There's a lot of that. Yep, Sam Freeman versus Elon.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
All right.
yeah,
Well, we can
great
call it
announcement.
if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, either way. I don't. If you want to go through it, we can.
No, it's okay. You don't have to. We can save it if you want.
You sure? Or is it
Yeah,
too
it don't
late?
matter. Let's 8:30.
Yeah, let's just do it anyway.
All right.
Let's just if we need it, we need it. So we've had we've been trying a couple of new different things here. A couple weeks ago, we went through and had Chat GPT. It's towards the end. Can
Chat
you tell?
music.
It's Chat Music. This is a channel where they take comments and they turn it into a song. So we can see Bro can see in 360. Let's
So just jump here.
jump in here and
Okay,
take a
so
look.
if you are sensitive to anything at all, you might not want to watch this part.
So the it's a very large man.
Oh.
His eye, he's got an eye that's looking.
His left eye's lazy.
Yeah, his left eye's lazy. His left eye's looking east.
He's been
and
charged in a shooting. Is what the picture we're looking at here.
Left eye's looking east, and his right eye is looking north. So,
Yes.
So we'll see what the comments
All right. See
have
what they
to
say.
Breaking news. A 40-year-old Baltimore man has been charged with murder after allegedly
tattoo
shooting one
teared on his
man
face.
and injuring another in
like
December
a
last
splat.
year. Now,
Almost.
over to Chat Music for more.
That's hilarious.
An ICU.
Yeah. I get it. That's true.
Oh, dude. Oh.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. No. Blew the other way.
I know it's going there.
Well. Yeah. It kind of was.
Oh, dude.
I like the dad joke. That's true. No. Man, I gotta tell you what, the retina scan to be hell for him, huh?
Oh, my gosh. See, we had one more new short one.
Her pronouns are LBS and kilogram. Okay.
Oh, shnikes.
Yeah, we'll have to
It's gonna be
see.
hard.
This one might not make it, but we'll see.
Dread medical appointments because of latent medical phobia. This OP appointment that I just went to, the provider was amazing. She asked me what my pronouns are. And then you ate her pronouns are obesity. Pronouns are all you can eat. And she identifies as hungry.
Oh, dude. Next level.
Next level. I can't.
It's cholesterol gender.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Does kind of look like Andre the Giant.
Dang. Oh, dude.
That was
All right,
great.
that's chat music, folks.
Chat music.
Ah,
Check them
great.
out.
Yeah. Give 'em a like.
I often dread metal.
Oh gosh,
boy.
no, not again.
All right.
All right.
Well, that's it. End on a light note. That's fun.
Yeah.
If you,
If
made
you enjoyed
it this far,
yeah, like, share, subscribe. Right.
Thank you very much for making it this long.
Drop a
and
comment. Tell us how
drop a
stupid we are.
comment. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, we do it all the time.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, we appreciate it. If you have any ideas for topics, things you'd like us to see, like us to do,
Yeah, if you got something to say or you ever want to come on,
yeah,
drop a comment.
sounds good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very
All right.
much, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Yep.